Janie, I got to ask you, and it's getting away and changing the subject a little bit, but we were talking earlier about the last recording that Ray made, and you're keeping so much of his memory alive with the different tours where you're putting his costumes and all on display. I feel certain the answer to this is yes, but please explain it. Feel free to elaborate on it. There is a web Pierce. See what you did to me. There is a Ray Price website. That's where I was going. That's where the web came from.
Okay, have I got this right?
You got it. Just perfect. Go right ahead.
RayPriceMusicConnection.com.
RayPriceMusicConnection.com.
And Ray Price Facebook. I would love for everyone to join us on Ray's Facebook, and so we can keep up with all of the ongoing projects that we have planned for Ray. He would be so excited. We've got more things that we're doing now than he had in the last year of his life.
Well, now, was he into to all the texting and emailing? Had he gotten into the 21st century computer age?
He loved it, but he didn't know how to do it. And so he would, we lived on a farm, and we opened that Facebook page for him, and this is hilarious. We have an office up on the hill, and my sister Virgie always worked in the office for us, nearly 20 years. And so every morning after we'd open this Facebook page, he would drive up there after he would come back from breakfast, and he'd honk his horn, and Virgie would come out and he'd say, "How many have I got today?" And we started out, 10 or 15,000 people, and then as it grew, he would come down the house and he'd say, "Can you believe there's 80,000 people on my page? Isn't that awesome?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And then, of course, around 130,000, and he said, "Wouldn't it be something if I could just do one concert a year and have everybody at that one concert?" He was serious. So he didn't do the texting and everything himself, but we did it for him. And in the end, Ray, he sort of got connected with his fans again for the very first time, because Ray had to cut back on his traveling because of his illness. And prior to that, Ray probably worked 250 to many days a year. And he loved his fans, and he would try so hard to stay on the farm and do all of those projects, and there would come that day when he would just have that yearning to go, and I could always tell. And so I'd call Bobby Roberts, and I said, "Bobby, we need to get some dates booked. He's driving me crazy." Everyone in this room knows exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? And so he would go out on the tour, and then when he would come back, this would be his refuge, and he would just lock that gate behind him. We had a 200-acre thoroughbred horse ranch, and he would close the gates, and he would be back home, and then he would go back into that farmer mode and taking care of his animals, but then he never could stay away. He would always, Bill Mack would call, or he'd want to call Buddy and Emmons and talk with him, and he had to go again. And so it was just a cycle. We've got suitcases we never unpacked, and I know everyone in this room they know what I'm talking about also.
What was the label, the last album?
Oh, there I go, rambling again. I'm sorry, that's what you asked me, right? Miramonte Records. They are located in Dallas, Texas. There are these two wonderful people, Daniel and Dana Bloom, and who own this label. And Daniel and Dana were brought to us by Joe Mansfield, an old friend at Columbia Records. Everyone here remembers Joe. Joe came on board. Well, here I go again. Now I got to back up. When Ray decided to do the album, he called Fred Foster, and he asked Fred. He said, "Fred, do you think it's possible that an old fella like me could ever have another record in the charts?" And Fred was quiet for quite a while, and he said, "Well, Ray, if anyone can do it, Ray Price can."
That's right.
And so Ray got together with Fred. Fred started sending him songs. And I have got to tell this story. This is one of the funniest stories that ever happened. And you know, by now Ray's wearing his little Ben Franklin glasses. He did not need glasses to see. He just needed them to read. And Fred sent him hundreds of songs. I mean, literally hundreds. Every one of you you know what I'm talking about. You know what you go through when you start gathering up songs to start preparing for one of these albums. Well, Ray had in his mind a concept, as he always did with every album he ever recorded. As we look around the room, I see each one of these albums, when he would start choosing songs, a particular song for a particular album, he always kept a theme in mind. And in this particular album, he told me, he said, I want to leave something for you and for my fans that is something that will represent the Ray Price, that the way I feel inside toward you and toward my fans. And so I am so excited for everyone to get a chance to hear this album. He put together 12 of the most beautiful love songs that has ever been sung on the face of this earth. And he chose, and so Joe Mansfield brought us with the Miramonte Records, Daniel and Dana Bloom. These two wonderful people knew how ill Ray was. Now, how brave were they to take on this project? Who do you know who would have? These people are just, I can't wait for everyone to meet them and everyone to get to know them. You're going to love them just like I do. And so Ray got Fred Foster, and Fred brought in the songs. And where am I now? The story about the songs. Story about the songs. I've got to tell you this story. You're going to all love this story if I can get it out. What Ray had, when he would find a writer, someone that he really, really liked, or a song that if he would get one song and he would choose that song, and then he would say, I'd like to hear some more of their songs. You know, that mode. And so he would get on the phone and call Fred, and Fred, a particular writer on a particular song, and he would say, would you please have the writer send me some more of their things? Well, one day Fred wasn't available. And so Ray just picked up the phone. He said, well, get this guy on the phone, get this company on the phone. I want to find out if they have any more songs they could send me of this writer. He is one of the ones that he chose in this album. And so I dialed the number for him. I handed him his little cell phone, and he picked it, and he said, hello, this is Ray Price. He said, I would like to speak to someone about one of your writers and some songs. This lady on the other phone said, right, and I'm Patsy Cline. And she hung up on him. He had his little Ben Franklin glasses on. He said, she hung up on me. That lady hung up on me. And I said, well, what happened? He said, I don't know. She just hung up on me. And I said, well, call Fred back. And maybe Fred is there. Maybe he can get hold of them by now. He calls Fred. Fred answers the phone, and he told him what happened. And Fred said, give me that number. And so he gave Fred the number. And later, Fred calls Ray and tells Ray this. He calls the number, and he said, hello, this is Fred Foster. I'd like to speak to Patsy Cline, please. True story. The lady fainted. Fred Foster said the lady fainted. I had to share that with you.
That is wonderful. And the album, the last one, can be ordered online, right? Is that the Ray Price Music Connection?
Well, that's not the only place. Yes, you're going to get it. Go first of all. We have. You got to know about Steve Popovich Jr. Everyone here knows Steve Popovich Sr. This is his son, Steve Popovich Jr. Steve came on as the president of this label, and so Steve has put together a team of people in this city here who are just absolutely remarkable. And he's got marketing behind us. He's got public relations. He has got the radio people, and every one of these people have been brought together by Steve, and they are doing an absolutely remarkable job on this album.
Okay, so it's available in record stores then?
You can buy it at Cracker Barrel, Hastings, Walmart. And if you go there first, and then of course it's on Amazon and it's on iTunes. You can download on iTunes, Amazon, and then if you can't find it there, then come see me. I'll have it for you. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Jana. That's good information. I know there's a lot of people out there that are going to want to order. And again, the title is...
The title of the album is Beauty Is the Final Sessions.
Yeah. We'll all look forward to hearing the whole record. Larry Gatlin, you're just itching to sing. I can sit over there and see it in your face.
I'm like T. Graham. I haven't been nervous since the fourth grade, and it's a spelling test I hadn't prepared for. but I'm nervous now. And y'all know I ain't big on nervous.
I thought you were just quick.
Quick, yes, I'm quick.
Why are you nervous?
Well, because I've got to.
Do you know the history of this song that you're going to sing?
I do not.
My secretary walked in one day into my office and she said, I've written a song. I've got a lyric. And she had written some lyrics before. She did not know anything about melodies. She said, I've got a song that I like the lyric. It's called A Way to Survive. I said, wow, I love the title. She showed me the lyric. I said, that's great. She said, will you put a melody to it? I said, well, I'll try when I get time. I'm busy doing whatever I was busy doing. I come back to the office a few days later. I said, about that song, she said, never mind. I gave it to Hank Cochran, and he wrote the melody. So after I fired her,
I guess.
But Hank put a beautiful melody to it, and it's a great song.
Well, I've been working on it for about a week, trying to memorize it and all that. So I really am a little nervous. I mean, we're talking about Ray Price. I mean, we're not talking about Ray Schwartz. This is the Right Reverend Ray Price. And Miss Janie, what a beautiful lady she is in the story. Don't worry about taking too long telling the stories, girl. We're loving it. You've got a captive audience here. I first met Mr. Price when I was 17 years old. I came in from working at a refinery out in Odessa, Texas. I pulled in my little blue Morris Minor to the Gulf Station. I had worked from 8 o'clock at night till 8 o'clock in the morning. And this is true. I wrote about this. The people at Fox News asked me to write about my friend Ray, Mr. Price, when I can't even call him Ray, the day that he passed. And I wrote about the Right Reverend Ray Price, the classiest cat in the alley, period. Because I was filling up my little Morris Minor, and in comes that Cadillac, and I'm in my old, I've got grease and oil from top to bottom, and out stepped this ostrich boot and the longest leg I have ever seen, and this silk and wool sharkskin suit. And it was Ray Price. He was going to sing at the Melody Club that night in my hometown of Odessa, Texas. And I told him about the story many years later. He was always very kind to me. He was kind of a crusty old dude sometimes, but that meant he liked you if he was that way. So, and I was very honored that I called Miss Janie a couple of days before he passed away, about a week or two, and got to speak to him a little bit. And she asked me if I'd sing In the Garden for him the last morning that he lived. And she said, he's smiling and shaking his head. So I'm very honored to be able to sing that for you and for that wonderful man. And dear God, I'm going to try to sing this song your secretary wrote, Bill. Kick it off, boys. I look at her picture too often. It helps keep her memory alive. It's not healthy, they say, looking back on yesterday. But for me, it's a way to survive. I must cling to what's gone if I'm to go on. No, I can't face the future. I've tried. Perhaps for the rest, looking back is the best. But for me, it's a way to survive. Mike Johnson and the New Cherokee Cowboys. All her letters and the words make our love seem but for me, it's a way to survive. I must cling to what's gone if I'm to go on. No one can face the future. I've tried. Perhaps for the rest, looking back isn't best, but for me, it's a way to survive. But for me, it's a way